Well, Super Rugby Pacific round 12 is wrapped up. The fantasy points are locked in these recap videos. I just talk about how my fantasy team went for the round, as well as any sort of player performances that caught my eye or any sort of trend that I've noticed that might help us going forward into future fantasy rounds. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. And it was a pretty tough old round for me. 401 points, pretty low total, although not my worst this year. But look, I feel like this was just a tough round in general. And I mean, if we take a look at the fixtures, right, and I was thinking that going into this round as well, that there were a lot of matchups here which look kind of tight, that were going to be battled, good chance of becoming arm wrestles, and that's pretty much what happened, right? You can see pretty low scoring compared to what we've seen for the rest of Super Rugby, and as a result, you can see down here, looking at the top dozen or so players for the round, yeah, only a handful of players that sort of broke above that 60 mark. But the thing that really stands out is that a lot of them are force players, a lot of them are from the Endure. We got no Hurricanes in here, hardly any Brumbies, no Brumbies in fact, one red. Like, yeah, I mean, who would have thought that the force would be dominating the the upper echelons of players scoring in a round? But yeah, like, look at this. We need a 17. I mean, before the round, I thought this would be like a 25-20 type of scoreline, but I was favoring the Waratahs. Instead, it was Western Force that did all the playing. They dominated possession that game, and as a result, they came away with the points. And that really hurt me because I did invest in the Waratahs. Had Sid Harvey, made him my captain, only 42 points after being doubled. Also had Jorgo, only 16. Bought him in late after the late change to the Crusaders, where Dallas McLeod went back to the midfielders, got carried away, decided to tinker a bit, bought in Jorgensen instead of Toole. But yeah, really did not work. The Waratahs, they were extremely disappointing that game at all. They just kind of sat back on defense and let the force just bang away, and the force, they're a very patient team. They're happy to do that until they crack you, and you really got to sort of get off the line a bit, make them play, push the passes, and that's where their weakness is, right? If you make them play. But the Waratahs did not want to do that, and as a result went down in Sydney. This Western Force team, man, like I said this before, they've beaten better teams than the Tars in recent weeks, so this really isn't surprising in a lot of ways. And yeah, their stock is rising again after this week. And look, for the Hurricanes versus the Crusaders, I mean, 38-31 was a pretty high scoring game, but it wasn't, none of their players really turn up in this top dozen outside of Hotham, and that's because even though tries was scored, it wasn't a very open game, right? It was quite a tightly contested game for long periods, both teams playing very tidy, and yeah, the tries would just kind of come suddenly rather than out of this kind of open, the ball being floated everywhere type of gameplay, which is the sort of game where we usually see a lot of fantasy points being awarded because you've got lots of line breaks happening and that sort of the thing. But yeah, Crusaders stock for me moves up a bit going forward, just because they looked a lot tidier that game. Than there's a lot more cohesion in them compared to how they've been for the rest of the year. There wasn't crazy amount of turnovers, or which they've really been guilty of. They didn't have anyone go to the bin, which is another thing they've been guilty of. More players, more cards than anyone else this season. So yeah, Crusaders stock moved up a bit for me. Hurricanes, they still remain the same. Look very dangerous. They don't need much of an opportunity to really convert, right? That's what makes them kind of scary. So they still look quite strong, even though this game stayed kind of close. And then with the draw versus the Highlanders, again, it was kind of a similar thing to Force versus Tars. We see a lot of Endure up here near the top. Frank Lamani, Rambito as well. This is another player I did actually point out in my best picks video as an option for Flyhalf, because he does play at fullback. gives him good opportunities to score tries. And yeah, we saw that here. He got 2 tries, which is pretty fortunate. So yeah, he kind of proved he's still an option there. You need him to be starting, right? You need him to be starting in that 15 jersey because he spends a lot of time coming and going from the bench, unfortunately. But yeah, the Endura, like, I kind of picked a couple Highlanders here. Nareki, only 5 points. Tavatava Nawai as well, 35, which, you know, kind of about where he lives, 35 to 45. But yeah, like, it was kind of a low-scoring game, and the Drua were the ones who were getting the points out of it, right? Because they were the ones sort of doing the playing and getting the points, just like the Force were against the Tars. So definitely not a surprising result. Again, Drua, they've beaten better teams in Fiji than the Highlanders, but I still think Highlanders stock does go down a little bit, and the Endura comes up a bit as well, because they did have that big win against the Brumbies and didn't look too bad against the Chiefs, despite conceding a lot of points there. So yeah, definitely some relative movement between these teams. Moana versus Blues. I mean, this is kind of the score I was kind of expecting actually before the round started, but the game did not play out how I expected. Like, yeah, they were going hammer and tong in that first half. The Blues were really struggling to get their game going. Moana was dominating possession. A lot of penalties were going against the Blues. They were just getting up quick on defense up against that pod for the Blues. That first pod that the Blues, that's their game. They like to work off that pod and build go forward and momentum from that. But the Moana was just rushing up on defense and catching them behind the gain line, and that was just, they kept the pressure on, and the Blues would just keep backing up until eventually they turn over the ball or concede a penalty or something. And but then we saw a very stark adjustment in the second half. The Blues, they injected a lot of pace into their game by just going around the corner with the pick and goes instead of working off their pod system. And Moana, I mean, there was space around the ruck. Moana was not ready for it. And yeah, the Blues really got their power game going around the corner and just put on a lot of points and really end up blowing Moana off the park. So yeah, not much really changes here. I think the Blues, their stock remains the same. Like they really just haven't quite got everything all together this year. It's been the same story all year for them. Like we know what their strengths are, we know what their weaknesses are, but they're not really solving those problems week to week. And with Moana, actually their stock moves up a little bit. Ever since we heard the news about the demise of their team after their season, I was kind of worried that they'd go into these shells a bit and just get points put on them, but that has not happened, right? They put up a fight against the Tars. I mean, they put up a fight last week, put up a fight against the Blues. They're not going anywhere, but I mean, they're still very vulnerable, right? So yeah, we still pick against them, but you know, we don't get to go crazy necessarily when we do that. Then with the Reds and the Brumbies, again, another anticipated arm wrestle. And after a bit of a hot start, yeah, this did just become an arm wrestle, but the Reds, they were the better team in the end. They pulled ahead, and yeah, kind of not a surprise, this result, that they come away with the win at home in Brisbane. And with the picks, yeah, I did not have any Force players outside of Jeremy Williams, who was, you know, probably had a below average result for him, and did not have many Enduro players either. Had Nasova in the midfield, 28 points, nothing particularly exciting there. And I mean, if Darby Lancaster was starting, I would have picked him, but yeah, really missed the trick here with these Western Force players. Their outside backs, Peach and Greeley, both doing really well. Cade Banks was another one who did decently. This was another one I was kind of thinking about in my best picks video, but it just kind of felt a bit risky, right? Like I was confident the Blues would handle Moana easily and get points while doing it, but we know they get a lot of tries through those forwards, right? So it's never a guarantee with them that the points are going to go into the outside backs. And but yeah, it did actually work out for Cade Banks' game. Pretty low scores for outside backs though. Otherwise, all these arm wrestles just made it kind of tough for the outside backs. Midfield was a pretty interesting position this week, and yeah, kind of stayed clear of the Canes and the Crusaders, but didn't really work out. I did have McLeod in here, but switched off him once we found out before the game that he was moving back into the midfield. And yeah, he's all the way down here, 24 points, so that was a good decision. But I mean, still, Barrett ended up doing pretty good, 44 points. Outshone Proctor, who is probably who I would have gone for if I was going to pick a Kane. And yeah, Havili and Whanganuku both getting 40 points. And yeah, Whanganuku, another 40 points. Like yeah, I feel like he's going to be consistently around that range in the back row, but it's going to reduce his chances of getting those big, like 60, 70 plus type scores that we have seen out of him a couple of times. But yeah, still a very solid pick, it seems like, even in a tough game. He did get a try this game, just like he did last week. I don't know if we can take that for granted every week, but I mean, maybe he can, right? Maybe we can. Like, he can operate in that space close to the line, roll your sleeves up. So yeah, I think he's just kind of cementing himself as very consistent in that position for fantasy. And then with the fly halves, and I mean, yeah, my three picks were actually Rambitu, Donaldson, and Perifeta. Donaldson was the sort of solid option. Perifeta was the option who, you know, slightly riskier than Donaldson, but I'd say a chance to go a bit higher, even though it didn't really work out that way. And then Rambitu, he was probably the biggest gamble, being in the outside backs, and you know, that game just having a little bit of unpredictability to it. But no, he came away with the 2 tries, and yeah, turned out to be one of the top picks this round. And I think he's going to stay on the radar going forward, right? As long as he keeps getting starts at that fullback position, I think you do want to be considering him, because the Endure, they do have some easier matchups to come, right? They got the Tars, the Force, and then finally the Reds. So if he does sort of start in those next couple of games, it's definitely one to consider. And with the halfbacks, a lot of halfbacks actually getting a lot of points this week. They were all very good performers. Cam Roigard only coming in 4th. Got outshone by Noah Hotham, which is pretty impressive, really. Both of them getting a try apiece. Robertson, again, just benefiting from that force dominance of that game. And then Frank Lamani as well. Didn't get a try. 3 try assists though. Line break assists, couple of line breaks. Like, yeah, just had a really strong game and put in a good score. And with the loose forwards, really was not exciting this week. No big scores from any back rower at all. But McWright coming out as a top performer again. So yeah, he's kind of established himself as firmly being solid again. Tanakaivada doing well, just off the back of the Enduro doing well, but nothing else to write home about here, and some pretty tough matchups. And at hooker, that was kind of tough going, except for Millennium Sonarevi getting his 70 points again after getting 79 against the Blues when they played earlier in the year. He backs it up with 2 tries and 74 points in the run back. Outside of that, having pretty ordinary scores otherwise. So I don't know what it is about Millennium and the Blues, but it's probably something we need to keep in mind for for next year, maybe. But otherwise, pretty average scores for hookers elsewhere. Jack Taylor only got 31, pretty disappointing. Eklund, I thought might go well this week, but yeah, only got that 23 right. It turns out that Sonarevi did what I thought Eklund might that game. And with the props, we had a Poa come in with that try. Renata getting a try as well. I imagine he would have been a pretty popular pick this week. Yeah, 41%, so that really worked out. But yeah, again, nothing exciting here. Now, looking at the league leaderboard for round 12 for our league number 1 spot. Only 563 points. Definitely was a very tough round this week, guys. Yeah, KG27 taking out the top spot. What do we got here? We have a Captain Cade Banks. Okay, that's cool. That makes sense, right? And yeah, kind of worked out. Getting your captain on someone with 50 plus points this week is pretty good, just because those guys who got the big scores, they're probably not players a lot of people were looking at. Had Sid Harvey as well. I was really confident in Harvey this week, but oof, man, like that game was kind of brutal to watch from a TARS perspective. Stuck with Finianganofo, and it did actually work out in the end. 44 is actually a pretty good score considering how this week went. Same with Barrett as well. Also went for the Nasova pick. Okay, interesting. This was probably a riskier pick, and didn't really work out, but also didn't go poorly. Okay, we got the Run B2 pick. All right, interesting. Actually, I'm going to take a quick look. How many people did pick Run B2 this week? Because I'm really interested to know if he was a popular pick. Only 1.1%, so definitely not a popular pick. And yeah, super impressive to make that call. I mean, that's probably what secured you the top spot for the round. That and having like a reasonable captain as well, and Lamani. So yeah, definitely showed a lot of faith in the draw here, and it paid off with two very good picks here. Samu, Failangi, Segna. Yeah, a lot of the back rows just not scoring big this week. Darian Williams, I mean, I favored those picks as well. Had the Renata pick. Okay, interesting with the Numia and the Almoa. Yeah, Almoa not really going that well this week. Second place, 20 points behind on 543. We have Not You. What do we got here? Okay, we got the Harvey captain as well as Azan Sullivan and a Finianganofo. And yeah, Zan, I mean, he kind of makes sense in the same way that K Banks does, right? Like he's an outside back in that Moana matchup, but yeah, just didn't really go his way this week. And I mean, those fullbacks often do miss out when the wings cash in, right? And I think, yeah, Zani, he kind of is one of those guys. If he was playing for a different team, he might do better. But yeah, the Blues, it's kind of tough. We got Proctor and Nasova. Oh, the Run B2 pick as well. Okay, again. And yeah, again, that's probably what's really separating you from the pack here on 543. Roigard, Lakai, Tuputai Loa, Thanakai Vada. Okay, the Thanakai Vada pick turned out really good. Dari Williams, Hatet, Renata. Oh, and the Millennium Sanarevi pick. Okay, that's nice. I wonder if you actually looked at the previous performance against the Blues and made the punt based on that. I mean, Sanarevi's been solid anyway, but yeah, wow. Okay, two very good picks here between Sanarevi and Rambutu. And that's all it takes, guys, right? That's what makes the difference between a good round and a bad round, is just either landing a good captain or just finding a couple of those high-scoring picks that, you know, everybody else might not necessarily be going for. Then we got third place, Kim McGaw, 542, only 1 point behind. Okay, we got Sanarevi as well. We've got a McWright pick, a Hotham pick, Donaldson, and a Finianganofo captain. So, yeah, pretty sort of solid stuff, right? Like nothing kind of crazy, but yeah, just the Sanarevi pick really elevating the team here. Oleg, 540 points for fourth place. We got the Harvey captain as well. Okay, Frank Lamani, 58 points. I like it. And Sanarevi as well. Also went for the money pick. I guess that means you watch my videos, but yeah, Money, he was the lowest average prop that had been selected last week going into the round, and I picked him purely on a minutes to points basis, whereas his average would be a lot higher, but he did end up getting subbed pretty early, I think at like 46 minutes. So yeah, he didn't really get a shot to achieve even an average score. We kind of like to get to that 20 mark with our props, right? And I mean, thinking about it going forward, Yeah, even when he starts, he's probably going to get subbed early because he is just such a big unit, and it's not the first time that's happened. So yeah, probably not going to be a good pick going forward, but yeah, I might take a closer look at that one, see if there's any circumstances where he might end up staying on longer. Okay, 540 points gifted in 5th place. What do we got here? Captain Donaldson. Okay. I mean, that worked, right? That works because yeah, he got the 50 points. 50 points on the captain. I mean, you'd be kind of happy with that because there'd be a lot of bullets to dodge just with a lot of outside backs not really getting a lot of points this week. So yeah, this was actually a nice safe pick that worked out, and yeah, that's kind of secured you 5th place. Okay, there's interesting to see the Fanga Nuku pick as well. Surprised not to see more of those picks, that pick in the top 5, to be honest. Putting an offer also Jorgo. Okay, yeah. McWright went with Derns, Renata there. Okay, Tanya Tama pick. Definitely do not dislike that. Anyway, we'll go down a bit and just have a look at someone a bit further down. Let's have a look at Siggy's 467 points. What we got? Okay, Corey Tool captain. All right. Yeah, pretty tough game, that one for the outside backs. As a lot of games were this week. Samu Vondra pick. I mean, I don't hate that either, even though didn't really cash him big time there. Tizano pick. Probably a bit unlucky that Tizano didn't sort of come out a bit better. Cody Taylor only 13 though. That kind of stings. But yeah, no foot has really been put wrong here, to be honest, with any of those picks. Just didn't manage to grab any of those guys who ended up being the ones who went big, whether it was Sanarivi or Rembitu or whoever. We'll go a bit further down again. The boss, Rick Ross, 431. What do we got here? Okay, the rare Ruben Love pick. Interesting. Captain Zahn. Oh, a Suoliti pick. The rare Suoliti pick. Only 6 points. Man, like, yeah, Suoliti at 13. It's just not the business, man. I mean, look, in the context of this game, it doesn't really matter because the Tars had so little ball and played so little rugby. But I mean, man, it sucks that Suoliti's here and we just can't pick him as long as he's at 13. And they're putting Jorgo at 15. Like, come on, man, just put him at 15 and put Jorgo on the wing and put Callaway at 13 or something. Like, come on, man. Armstrong Ravula pick. Okay, interesting. Paingamosa as well. Worked out all right. 36 points. Interesting stuff. And we'll just take a look at the all-round leaderboard as well. Top 2, we still have Aiden Collins and Caleb Clark unchanged up here. Let's take a look at their teams though. Oh, I had the Sanarevi pick. Okay. Also had the captain, Sid Harvey. Proctor. Okay, Walton too. Yeah, I mean, going into this round, I would have thought Walton would be a good pick, but no, like, no Waratah was a good pick. You're just not a good pick if you're not getting the ball, unfortunately. Although, well, actually, I mean, he's been pretty good off the ball. Someone was asking about him in the comments, and a lot of his points have come from big tackle counts and off the ball stuff. So kind of surprised to see he only got 12. Maybe he got subbed or something, but yeah, a bit unfortunate there. Caleb Clark. Oh, yeah, the Kurt Eklund pick. I think this would have gone well. It's just because it was such a game of two halves, that match, right? Like, Moana was doing all the playing in that first half, and then I don't know when Mulan came on, but I mean, yeah, the Blues are probably only sort of dominating for that sort of 10-15 minutes while Eklund was on until he went off. So he just the gate was kind of shut on him, unfortunately, before he could really cash in. Okay, also had a Zan Sullivan pick as well. Flyhalf captain. And I mean, this isn't a bad idea either, right? Going for the Flyhalf captain, because there's always a chance that the Canes just like crack the Crusaders. I mean, they didn't quite get away from them that game. They didn't quite get away from that sort of 2-score game zone. But if they did, I mean, it's quite possible they would have just run over the Crusaders at the end there. And that's when a guy like Flyhalf can really cash in. And look, we've seen KG27's team, but yeah, a little bit of movement here. Big Elephant's moving up. The comeback kid on the way down, as well as Fatu. Tosso and Drew Tosso. Let's see if he cashed in from the Drewers big week. Just had Frank Lamani. Man, where's the Rambitu pick? Come on. I did point out the Rambitu pick in my best picks video. But yeah, this was the week to pick up drawer players for sure. Anyway, guys, that'll do it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll catch you a bit later for best picks on the Thursday. And until then, have a good one.